right. Okay. Hi, Rebecca. How are you today?
Hi.
Uh, I am so excited to have Rebecca here with me today. Rebecca, I are Instagram friends and
True
education
story.
soul sisters.
Yes.
Um, and Rebecca is here today to talk with us a little bit about our mindsets as parents as we head back into the school year. I know a lot of us had kind of a hit to mental health and mindset as we've gone through virtual learning, hybrid learning, trying to figure out childcare during all of these really crazy times. And so I think this is going to be a great conversation to hopefully help us get some actionable tips for mindset as we head back. Let me tell you a little bit about Rebecca, and then we're going to get started. So Rebecca is a dynamic educator and creator of Learn, Play, Grow. She helps young children with diverse abilities and their parents, teachers, and school connect, communicate, and learn with confidence. Rebecca specializes in play-based learning, parent coaching, early communication and development support, and consulting and inclusion support in schools. And I'm going to make sure that everybody gets all of the things that they need to follow Rebecca because she has great actionable tips for parents and educators. I loved last week she was talking about choice and how to help kids kind of get through those hurdles when it comes to choice. So make sure you give her a follow. All right, Rebecca, let's get down
Let's
to
do
it.
this thing.
So, like I said, we're headed back to school and it's complex and challenging and scary. What should we be focusing on from a parenting perspective as we head into the new school year?
That is such a great question. First and foremost, thank you for having me. And thank you, parents, for taking care of you. You are your children's gentle leaders. So your mindset as we go into this big transition will be their anchor and their compass. So let's talk about what you need. First and foremost, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. There is so much uncertainty. We don't know what this year will hold, but we can learn to hold space for all the feels and to remind our children that whatever comes, we're going to figure it out together. That's a for sure. So let's talk about giving grace and allowing new beginnings. We're going to head back to school, and we have to remember that the past does not determine the future. Perhaps your child struggled last year, or you got off on the wrong foot with the teacher last year. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen this year. When we give grace and we allow new beginnings, everybody gets a fresh start. So here's what we know for sure. This is going to be messy. Most beginnings are imperfect and messy, but that's how you begin again. So my number one tip is get into a mindset of grace and new beginnings. Be ready for the mess and the imperfection, and know that the best thing that you can do is hold space for the feelings and promise your children that you're going to get through it together, whatever happens.
I love that. And what a big lesson for kids as well, to hold space for the fact that it is not going to be perfect, and expecting
Mm-hmm.
perfection is setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yes. Yes. That's a hard one wisdom as adults. So we can set our children up for success. The only thing we know for sure is that we don't know, but we'll have the courage to ask the questions together.
That's awesome. I love it. So you mentioned kind of it's going to be messy, it's going to be hard. We have to hold space for all of those feelings. So some of us are experiencing like a lot of really big feelings like anxiety and fear and anger when it comes to certain parts of our kids' education. Like maybe it's not going the way that we feel like it should go, as far as, you know, having advocacy for your child, people being invested in your child's education, or you've had some bad experiences with the school system. It
Mm-hmm.
happens to a lot
It's
of us.
real.
What do we need to do with all of those emotions?
Well, first, we need to remind ourselves that everything we feel is okay. It might not feel okay, but judging our feelings doesn't help us get through them. We have to feel them to heal them. So I'm a big proponent of holding space. And holding space means you're allowed to feel whatever you feel. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong, but you become your own safe space and you become the safe harbor for your children, whatever they're feeling. It can be shared. Now, I know some parents who are positively elated to send their children back to in-person school because they feel the need to surgically remove their children from their bodies and have some space. And that is fantastic if that's you. I also know some parents that are devastated to be away from their children for the first time in so long, and other parents who are stressed to the max, trying to get school supplies and anticipating the dreaded science fair. And whether you're elated or stressed or dreading or uncertain, it's all okay. But here's a mindset tip. When you get support for those feelings, make sure you're getting it from another grown-up. Because when our children hear us say, I can't wait for my kids to go back to school, I need to get away from them, they might hear, my parents don't want me here. And when we say, oh, I'm so stressed about all the things I have to do for my kids, our kids might hear, I'm a burden. Now, there are things that are totally appropriate to talk to your kids about. Let's talk about COVID protocols and who's going to be in our carpool and what we want in our lunches. Those are all great conversations to directly engage your children. But I encourage you, when you're holding space for emotion and seeking support, make sure you get that from another adult so that children don't have to hold your feelings and their feelings at the same time. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense and is so spot on. I mean, it's hard in that moment to not express that feeling. And
Yes.
is there an appropriate way for us to show our kids some of those hard feelings without making them take them on themselves? Like if you are stressed about the back to school shopping,
Right.
and getting all of those things done for your child, is there an appropriate way for us to express that to our kids, to let them know that it's okay to be overwhelmed, but
Yes. I love that. It is okay to be overwhelmed. And we're going to talk about normalizing challenge and learning from mistakes. I think it's perfectly healthy to say, getting school supplies is a good challenge. That's a phrase that my little learners and I use. It sounds a lot better than really hard. Wow, I'm thinking a lot about getting school supplies. I need to get organized so I know how best to help you. It's okay to own your feelings and it's okay to own your uncertainty. But when we express it in a way where children might internalize that they're a burden, that becomes problematic. So I'm stressed about getting the school supplies, not about you.
yeah.
Or I'm overwhelmed with all the things that we need to do. I've made a to-do list. Let's divide and conquer. So we're encouraging our kids to participate in this. So we're walking the journey together. There's one more tool I want to share. Our kiddos also have big feelings. And when our kiddos have big feelings, we can co-regulate. Literally, we're going to model for them how to self-regulate. So when they lose their stuff, we tend to lose our stuff, which doesn't work very well because if they can't handle their stuff, what makes us think that they can handle our stuff? Losing our stuff with our children is not a good storage solution for our stuff. So when they get upset, we can co-regulate by taking deep breaths, by staying calm, by holding space for those feelings and knowing that we're going to have an adult outlet later. And when our kids are up here and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're freaking out and they're panicking, we're down here and we're staying calm. There's no reason to feed the squirrels. We're just going to be there safe, calm, constant. And when they come down, that's when the teachable moment happens. That's when we have the rational conversation. But Dan Siegel, who's a great thinker in the world of child development, talks about the brain in the palm of your hand. And when kids flip their lid, their prefrontal cortex is offline and they're just in their primal limbic system. This happens for adults too. That's not the time to try to have a conversation. Let's wait until everybody's calm, and that's the teachable moment. Same thing for grown-ups. Sometimes we need to take a grown-up time out. If we think we're going to flip our lid with all our big feelings, it's okay to step away. Better that than say something that we would regret.
Yeah. Again, easier said than done. Sometimes,
True.
When someone's screaming at you, your body reacts right in a certain way that makes it hard. But I love that visual. And I don't know if it was in the book no drama discipline, or maybe I heard it
Yes.
somewhere else,
And the
about
whole
the
brain
mom
child.
that would also do that sign to show her kids that she was about to flip her lid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As a nonverbal of like, I need some space
Yeah.
because I need to regulate myself. And what a great way to show your kids how to advocate for themselves as well.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that. Okay, so you work with parents and schools
Yes.
and all the stakeholders in those situations. What advice do you have for parents who are trying to collaborate with the school to make sure that their child, who maybe has some unique needs, gets everything they need?
That is a great way to put it. Children with unique needs getting everything they need. I absolutely love that. So when it comes to communication and collaboration, sometimes there's this unnecessarily adversarial relationship, and it doesn't set anybody up for success. So I encourage families, clear is kind. Be clear about who your kid is and what your kid needs. If you're asking for specific support, whether it's your child sit in a specific place, or your child needs to wear noise canceling headphones, or your child has an IEP or 504 plan and they have accommodations and modifications in the curriculum, it's okay to be clear about that and upfront. Better to know now than to wait for something to go wrong and then bring it up later. But also, when we're being clear, we also need to be kind about it. And sometimes, in our rush to protect our children and promote their education, we accidentally assault teachers. I used to be a teacher who would get mauled during carpool time because that's when everybody wants to talk about dad's moving out and so lost the job and so's got a terminal disease, all of which is important. All of which is important. But let's make sure that we also understand that teachers and administrators are doing their best. Last year, I heard a lot from parents about, I am getting these emails from my kid's teacher at 8 or 9 at night about how they didn't turn in their homework. What do they want me to do about it? I'm trying to put my kids to bed. And of course, we hold space and we validate. Sounds like you're really frustrated that you're getting these emails at bedtime. I wonder if the teacher, also being a human being and a parent, has just put their children to bed and this is the time they can send the email. Does the email say you need to wake your child up and have them complete this worksheet for tomorrow? Or is this email generally communicating that certain things haven't been turned in and can be by XYZ date? So clear is kind, be an advocate and a champion for your child, but also be gracious about it and communicate exactly what you need by when. So on that worksheet email, hey, Mrs. Smith, just wanted to let you know, Timmy has not turned in his math worksheet. It's due by Friday at 3 p.m. I know we can do it. Clear, simple, what he needs to do, by when, communicating confidence. We also don't have endless amounts of time to read endless emails.
Yeah. And I always tell parents, like, try to figure out exactly how, and a lot of teachers are great about coming out with this information up front, but exactly how they prefer to be contacted.
Yes.
Because some teachers, there's like a class dojo and they prefer to be contacted that way. Some prefer email, some prefer text message. So figuring out how they prefer is going to probably get you the results that you need and want, especially when you need a reply.
That is so important. Like, communication is a circle. And often we think, I sent the email, so I did my part. But if we don't bring it full circle, if you haven't gotten the response in a meaningful way, then we haven't accomplished the goal of communication. And if some people are reachable between these hours by this means, then that's what we prioritize. I love that you said that. It's so important to be clear about how, when, and for what to reach people. And yes.
I will say though, as well, so even if it doesn't get closed, if you go to whatever like avenue that teacher is wanting, maybe it's text message and you have an exchange, I would send an email follow-up that summarizes what you talked about and the conclusion that was reached, because email is the best documenter.
Yes.
Which
Create
I
that paper
forget
trail.
a lot.
and confirm understanding. Because often we complete the circle of communication and we think that we're agreeing, but we're not agreeing to the same thing. So always check
Oh, I love
for
that.
understanding.
Confirm. All right. So back to the mindset piece overall. Growth mindset has become really popular in parenting and education. How can we foster a healthy growth mindset with ourselves and with our kids? And do you think that that's something important?
Yes, 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 and yes. Growth mindset is so important. For those unfamiliar, growth mindset is the notion that we're always growing and we're always learning, that nothing is fixed. Some people believe I'm just not a smart person, or I'm just not good at sports, or I'm a terrible parent. And then they go into the spiral of that belief and they look for things that confirm it. Growth mindset is looking for other ideas that could help us grow. So, 3 strategies. 1, normalize struggle. We're all going to struggle. We're all going to face challenges. That doesn't make us weak. That makes us human. And how we talk about and how we respond to those challenges is such a powerful role model for our children. It's how they learn whether or not it's okay to try new things. It's how they learn whether or not to dread the stress or to know that the stress is pointing us in the direction of growth. Number 2, learn from mistakes. Mistakes are our greatest teachers. It's not a matter of if we make a mistake, it's a matter of when we make a mistake. And when we make a mistake, we haven't failed. Making mistakes doesn't make us failures. It means that we have an opportunity to learn. And it's so important that children grow up knowing that mommy, daddy, Abba, Baba, whomever makes mistakes. Sometimes with children, I will purposely make a mistake. I will pour the orange juice into the cereal. Oh, Miss Rebecca made a mistake. What can I try better next time? Normalize that we experience challenge and we make mistakes, and make those mistakes learning opportunities. That's the goal. But above all, know that who our children turn into, what they're learning from us as we go, is so much more important than what they turn in. The core curriculum here is resilience, and grace is the #1 school supply.
I love that. And that can be a really difficult shift for parents who grew up in a very traditional school system and parenting system of get the grades.
Oh yeah.
Do the things, check off the boxes.
Yes. That's where I come from too.
Do you have any advice on like where to start if you're just trying to make the small change to get yourself kind of towards the growth mindset and away from, the traditional?
My go-to practice is actually mindfulness. It's to be mindful of what I'm thinking and feeling. So I recently made a mistake and the script in my head was, how could you have done that? You are such a failure. Don't you know better? And then I stopped myself and I told myself, I'm thinking that I'm a failure because this happened. Sometimes I also ask myself, would I ever talk to my student or my parent coaching clients this way? I would never say to parents, you are morons. How could you have done that? So how can I talk to myself that way? So being mindful of what we're thinking and feeling, reality checking that. Is it that we're total failures because we made mistakes, or did we just do the best we could with the information we had and it didn't turn out the way we wanted? And I totally get that this is a journey. This is development work that I've been doing for decades. And when my family say, oh, Miss Rebecca, you're so positive. Like, yes, but I grew up hearing things like, that's not a terrible idea, otherwise known as a good idea. So just the frame of mind, the mindset shifts. It happens over time, but I am on a mission to help the grownups in our children's lives feel empowered and supported to do that, so that the children don't internalize negative messages about themselves or their capabilities, that they learn that it's okay to be human.
Amazing. I mean, it seems so simple, right? It's okay to be human, but it's so difficult. And
yes, I don't 100% believe it myself. I preach it, but I'm still working on actually living it. I'm with you, people. I am with you. The struggle is real, but we're in it together, and you don't have to walk the journey alone.
Yeah, because you have Rebecca.
We have you with your amazing resources. Oh my goodness, you have been such a beacon and a goddess of social media in this last year while we're all reinventing ourselves. I'm seeing so many actionable strategies and relatable stories from you. I think more than anything, as we've been socially distancing and virtually learning, we want connection. And these mindset strategies are designed to help us get real and connect and acknowledge that we don't know what's coming, but we know that we're in it together.
Yeah, yeah. And it's always okay to reach out to a professional, an expert like Rebecca, who can help you and help your children thrive in this new school year, help you parent in a way that's going to help your kids get where they need to go and be happy and healthy and play.
And
So
help
Rebecca
parents
would
feel happy and healthy and play, because the parenting journey is about
exactly.
them too.
Yeah. I mean, happy parents make happy kids. And so Rebecca, would you mind telling us about where we can find you, how we can inquire about your services and anything else, anywhere else that we can connect with you?
Absolutely. I would love to connect with you. My home base is on the web at learnplaygrowconsulting.com. There you'll see all about services, whether it's bringing the goals and strategies from therapy and school into the home using play, parent coaching on your terms to help you experience success, early communication and developmental support using the Hannon approach and DIR floor time, or consulting in schools to help the whole team, families, teachers, administrators, see what's happening, see what's possible, and create action plans to move forward so everyone is successful. I'm on Facebook at Rebecca A. Weiner, M.Ed, and on Instagram at Learn, Play, Grow Consulting. I have a free Power of Play guide to help parents reconnect with the magic of play and build connection, support communication, and enrich learning with their kiddos through play. It's all there for you. I'm here for you. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to connect and hopefully plant the seed that we don't know what's going to happen, but we know that we will get through it together.
Awesome. Awesome. And I will make sure that I link all of those things in the comments, or if you're watching later, it will be in the description, depending on where you're watching this video. And I just want to remind everybody that we do these Facebook Lives periodically throughout the week, especially now that we are going back to school. So if you aren't following us at Hoffman Tutoring Group on Facebook or on Instagram, make sure you're following along somewhere. And if you're watching this at a later time, be sure to react to this video, comment with your thoughts and opinions on what we talked about as far as mindset. How are you fostering growth mindset and positive mindsets as you're heading back to school? And we will see you again next week. I'm going to be talking with Heather Campbell of Glory Nutrition about healthy nutrition for back to school. So I'm really excited about that. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you're following along.
What a great resource.
Yeah.